G'day. Rightio, so I've been real busy doing a lot of things, getting a lot of things done, and I'm going to go through what I've done. So, the computers are now back at base, as you'll see. They're coming in at about 28 per minute, and I have a train bringing it down, bringing it here. Here it comes at the moment. Also have the crystal oscillators, they're coming in at about 5 per minute or so. And I've got a really simple and small automatic sorting area for the more complex items. You'll notice as well, I have finally gotten, and I've rushed through, that's why I've been so busy, is finally got the aluminium or aluminum sheets. And more importantly, the Mark V belts. That's really what I want them to get. I was lining stuff up, building stuff with the 480 belts, the Mark IV, and I just wanted to get to the Mark V and the level 3 miners. With the objective, the space elevator objective, I was going to set out a whole factory to do it, but I just kind of hand-fed machines to get it done so I could get to the next tier and unlock this stuff. So let's just have a quick look in the hub. You'll see we select milestones. So I rushed the aluminium production, and this, I had to handcraft a bunch of crap and get it done, a bit of AFK handcrafting and whatnot, but we got there. And let's go have a look at our aluminium setup. That's Fry, so when he gets back he's got a hover pack, and yeah, he hasn't been playing much at all, to be honest, but he pops in every now and then. Alrighty, let's go. What is this train doing? And why has he got nothing on it? Interesting. I'll sort that out later. Yeah, so that's the other thing. I've been doing the train signals, been working on the train signals and learning them. That's the whole purpose of this, one of the main purposes of this playthrough. I'm just getting the hang of it. When I first started doing it, it was a bit of a frustrating thing because I didn't really understand, but I think I'm getting the hang of it now. So we'll whack down this and go take a look at the aluminium sheet setup. I'll just drive it manually. So what I wanted to do was just use a couple of impure bauxite nodes, and literally just have a factory to make the aluminium sheets for the Mark V belts. You'll notice here on the right there's a thingy, whatever those things are called, for the nitrogen. I had to grab some nitrogen. There was a messy factory there for a little bit to do some things, but it's all deleted now, just to unlock some stuff. Alright, so here we are at the aluminium sheet factory. Alright, so it's a nice little compact. I tried to make it as compact as I could, and I've used a few shards here and there. What I'll do is I'll just go through how this factory works. At the end of the day, it's producing... What is going on? Something's broken with it. That's embarrassing. What is broken in this factory? I think I know what it's going to be. Is the water is oh, coal's run out. Oh, I know what it is. The vehicles sometimes get bugged, and I have a vehicle that's supposed to fill this up, but with the update, with the constant patches, I've noticed it happen before. The trucks sometimes bug out. So what I'll do is I'll fix this truck up and fast forward some stuff. Alright, so at the truck pickup, you'll notice that this is the in my first or second video for this playthrough. All the trucks have bugged out again. This is where the motor factory is. Okay, so I've had this happen a couple of times with the trucks. So if you have this problem, What seems to fix it is, you just grab a bit of coal here. Let's grab a bit more coal from here. What seems to fix it is, you just come in here, drop the fuel in, and away they go. There was also a bug where the trucks were appearing on the roof and things. They were teleporting upwards. But yeah, hey doggo. So well, I could have just grabbed it right out of the back of that. Away. So here goes the truck. We'll hop on, actually. So well, okay, it's making a fool of me. Alright, so the truck, I swear to God it works. It's just because of the patch. He'll mess around for a bit. He actually goes through like an off-road little track through here, through the forest, into our aluminium factory. So he's just going to sort himself out of here. Away he goes, look at him. It doesn't actually do that. It's actually pretty good. I think it's just because it's bugged out for the time being. Again, this is experimental, so of course, you know, you're going to have a bit of issues. But this is pretty cool. Using the truck this tractor to come through this bush track here, through the forest. And we'll get over here. I'll be actually be able to talk you through the basic little aluminium factory. I probably should have just stayed in the truck. Oh, actually, I wonder what would have happened if I was in the truck when it did that phasing thing. That'd be interesting to see. It'd probably crash the game, actually. Alright. Here we go. We're nearly there, don't worry. Here he is. Alright, switch to the old hover pack. Right. So, he... back to where we first were. He drops the coal off, which is pretty cool. And then he goes off back on his little adventure through the bush, back to that other coal pickup. Rightio, what is here? 2 impure nodes of bauxite. So I just wanted to grab these impure nodes and literally use them to make the aluminium sheets, and that's just for my personal supply. So now it's all working. Right, what have I done? 2 impure nodes. I've got the Mark III miners, I've got all the upgrades, we're good to go. In they come into here. We're using sloppy alumina because it's the most simplest one to use because there's no byproduct for the sloppy alumina. So that's simple. 2 of those, put a shard in each one, and it works out to 300 bauxite per machine, and 300 is the max you can get out of the impure node there. So that's these 2 machines here. Then on the other side, so we're mixing it with the water. I'll go through the water in a sec. The sloppy alumina comes through here and goes into the next 2 refineries, which are also sharded because I'm trying to make this compact. They mix with the coal. This is the standard recipe, I believe. And there we go. We've got 540 scrap, and the byproduct of water is 180. Now, you never ever want this water to overfill. It probably would have done since the system was... how do you get rid of this again? Since the system was... like bugged out because of the truck, because of the coal. But anyway, so then I've got all that recycled water going back into the main system, and a lot of it is recycled. I'm underfeeding it from the water. So there's a water extractor over there. And actually, while I'm here, I'll just talk about that for a sec, because these are some thirsty boys with the power. These are all pure nodes here, and I'm only using one of them. That's all I need for now. Later on, we might use these for something else. And there's also a nice deuterium node there. So if I need to, we'll set up another train or something like that. This is just taking a load of aluminium sheets back to the base. So these, look how much bloody power these use. 649, pretty much 650 megawatts. I know it's triple sharded, but wow, just be aware of that when you use these. A lot of power. It doesn't matter, I'm only using one of these at the moment, but it still uses all the power. Anyway, So I'm trying to build neat and kind of into the environment without clipping into the environment, and keep the factories nice and compact. So the aluminium scrap comes out. We got two 540 lines, and they go off and into the rest of the production. But this is where I like to put my overflow splitters, because with aluminium I always want this to keep running no matter what, to keep this empty. Essentially, to keep this empty so that the system doesn't jam up. Alright, so I always put overflow splitters into crushers at the aluminium scrap stage. Again, there's so many different ways to do it. That's how I like to do my setups, especially for this nice little neat compact setup. You'll notice that there's copper arriving as well. Now on the map, I can probably just bring that up. I do have it prepped. So here's where we are. Two bauxite nodes, impure, and I've done the train line nice and neatly and things, and just over here is a lone normal copper node, and I've decided to pick that up with the train. Again, using all the signals and things, it's good practice for me to learn how to do all this train stuff. Rightio, so copper's coming in via train, and yep, there we go. From there, pretty simple. We've got our alternate recipe, pure aluminium, and that is really good. I've triple sharded all these because compact, I want this to be small. And as you can see in this area, I haven't clipped anything, and it's a nice compact factory. So yeah, copper comes along, goes up here, makes the copper ingots, and under here the aluminium ingots, and then away we go into our 8 assemblers, and they mix the copper ingots, aluminium ingots, and make the good stuff, the Mark V belts essentially. Right, you'll notice these are all sharded. This is lagging because obviously the when I first got here, the system was broken because of the truck bugged with the coal. But yeah, that's it. That's it. And now I have Mark V belts for the rest of this playthrough. That's pretty much what this factory is for the Mark V belts. And power. Power. As you can see here, sometimes when you just load the game, or when you first look at power, you get a blip. See, there's a little blip there, but I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, how the hell would I even have 0.38? Doesn't matter. Can be buggy, but I like this nice solid line with power stations. As you can see, our max consumed is now above our capacity. So I started building some stuff in the desert. Just look at the map for a sec here. In the desert. Right. So from our computer / crystal oscillator factory, which was the last video, I ran a train line all nice and neatly under here. I grabbed some oil. We'll go have a look at this in a sec. And I've started to build some stuff over here. And this is going to be project assembly. Alright, so this is going to be that final big push to get all the fancy stuff, the rocket propulsion systems and all that hard stuff to make. But because power is lagging, I actually have to make another power station. So that's now what I'm working on. So I'll hop on a train, go for a ride, and I'll fast forward it to get there. But the train tracks are really, I've taken a bit of care with them to make sure it all looks nice and happy. All right, so let's do that. Yeah, coming over this, this looks really cool actually. Down into the computer factory. Didn't really show it before, but I'm really liking this building like freeform, as opposed to my OCD building on the grid, as it were. But yeah, really cool coming under here with the train, and building freeform really allows you to be creative in a different way. Alright, so this is the intersection which goes to the oil pickup for the desert. And we'll just have a quick look at that. I've see the train lines I'm doing now, they may look a bit spaghetti-like, but they're really not. They're really quite neat, especially here. It comes along here. I always make sure the trains never clip. And you'll see that the signal is actually working, which is good. This train actually wants to go here, and obviously this guy is now pissing off, and he's taking some oil to the desert. Now that he's gone, he can go in. Cool. So the train signals are something I'm still learning. I don't really use the path signals yet, just the block signals. Alright, so basically there's 4 nodes here, 2 normal, 2 impure, gives us a total of 1200 oil. And I've slapped them in. That's the setup. Nice little train station, and away we go to the desert, and we'll have a look what we're doing in the desert. Alright, it's going to get dark now, but that's alright. We'll have a look at it at the night time. I have put a few lights in there, so let's just deal with it. I'm not going to wait till day. We'll just have a quick look at this. It actually does look pretty cool. Alright, so in the desert, what I want to do is, you probably can't really tell at night, but I want to switch all my foundations to the concrete, the white concrete foundations. If I just look at this, and I kind of want to go, I don't know if I would call it Egyptian pyramid style, but I kind of want to do this kind of like everything like monolithic, or whatever the style of the word is. Concrete structures, white concrete structures in the desert. But yeah, we'll work on that. Because this is going to be project assembly, all the endgame stuff with the space elevator in here, and I want to do some nice cool desert designs. Rightio, so let's get rid of this train so he doesn't mess up the system. Right, so oil. I have oil coming in here, and it goes upstairs. The only other thing coming into this factory is 2 normal nodes of iron. And I've got a little bit of neat belt work coming from these two normal nodes of iron and going up there, using the floor holes, and up we go. Up we go to the next floor. So this factory produces 150 rubber, 75 circuit boards per minute, and 1500 steel ingots per minute. And I can do all of that stuff with this oil, so 600 oil, no, what is it, 1200 oil and 1200 iron. I can get all these items out: rubber, circuit boards, and steel. I'll show you the recipes I'm using. I'm using a few different recipes I don't usually use. Let's go through that. So we go up the top. I'll put some hypertubes eventually. Before I go up though yet, to get these lights diagonal, there's probably 101 different ways to do it, but what I've done is I've just put a, you have a look in there, there's like a little wall, like a basic wall. I put one tile diagonal, like a diagonal wall, put the little piece of wall there and deleted it, and that enabled me to get this nice effect of a diagonal light. So one thing I really want to do is have these lights flipped upside down facing upwards, but I haven't worked out a way to do that, or I don't even know if it's even possible. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on. First level, Oil comes in, and we turn all of that oil into rubber. Nothing fancy at all is going on with this. Standard recipe, making rubber with the byproducts being the heavy oil residue. All good. Alright, so then that ends up being 600 rubber. 450 of that rubber goes up to the next level to make circuit boards, and 150 of that rubber goes downstairs, and that's the 150 rubber down there. And I have a plan for that 150 rubber. I have a plan for that for another factory, as well as the circuit boards. Right, so the heavy oil residue then comes across into these machines and gets turned into petroleum coke. So there's a shitload of petroleum coke. I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but here again I have overflow splitters set up. You'll see, because with oil and things, refineries with byproducts, you never want byproducts to stack up and clog up the system. So the byproduct here is heavy oil residue. Not sure what's going on here. I think, don't worry about that. I'm not using 150 rubber. But I always want to use up this heavy oil residue. So I'm making the petroleum coke, and we're overflowing what we don't need into sinks. At the moment, I'll go down the bottom, have a look at the very bottom of it. But I'm obviously not using the end product of this factory yet. So there'll be a couple of things that have stopped. Right, so up comes the petroleum coke. There's 4 lines of it. There's a lot. I forgot the exact number. Most of that petroleum coke goes into these assemblers here. And these assemblers are making circuit boards using the alternate recipe, which is rubber and petroleum coke. So you can literally make circuit boards out of oil. Just grab oil, do the stuff, you can make circuit boards. It's a good place to use petroleum coke, in my opinion, as well. Because petroleum coke can tend to be quite abundant. I'll probably just have to mess around with a bit of the... I'll tell you why that's not working. It's because I'm not using the rubber, and therefore, because I'm not using the rubber, that 150 rubber, and I haven't synced it, some of this will be running a little bit slow, but that's fine. It's absolutely fine at this stage. Rightio, so one of my favourite new recipes to use, well it is now, is this guy here, the coke steel ingot. 75 coke, 75 iron equals 100 steel ingots. It's good for 2 or 3 reasons, in my opinion, because you get to use petroleum coke, because a lot of the time I tend to just shove this into a sink just to get rid of it. But we can make steel without using oil. The other reason why it's good is because it's actually 100 per minute getting spat out here, which is a nice number to work with, and it's a lot. Like, it's more than the other recipe that gets used. So we end up with 1500 steel, and I have a rough idea what I'm going to use the steel for. I know it's going to get used, but 1500 steel ingots is a good amount to have. Essentially, I'm definitely going to use it. So that all comes down here, did some nice neat belt work, and then it ends up under here. We have the 3 lines of 500, the circuit board 75 per minute and 150 per minute rubber. What I'm going to do is, I haven't fully planned it out yet because I need to build more power, which is pretty funny, but so there's a Caterium node just over up here. I'm going to link that with the Caterium node and make a belt bus going to something else, to the next stage of project assembly. For now, that's it. So I'll go through the plan. I won't even bother showing what I've started on the turbo motors, but I'll just talk about what I'm going to do. So I am learning the signals, and I do want to go back to my previous playthrough and finish that 100 turbo motors per minute. The plan is for when early access comes out, when it's finally like all the bugs. You'll notice with that truck there was a bug. Even just making this video, there's a bug. And actually I just remembered why some of my power might be struggling. Oh no, it's a flat line. Because there's a couple more trucks back at base that might... Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll need to fix those trucks up. So the plan is early access. I'll go back once all of the bugs and everything have been fixed. I mean, even just today there was a patch and they changed this. I mean, these look really cool. I like the new toggle switch look. It looks really good. But it's just a good example of they changed things. And the other thing they changed was what was it? I can't do it. But anyway, with the train lines, I want everything to be set in stone before I go back to do my previous world. Now we'll just go have a look and I'll explain why. So this is the world I'm in at the moment. I'm starting some turbo fuel here. I have some sweet plans for some cool drone stuff. Anyway, you'll notice that there's a bit of a few train tracks here and there. You know, what do we got? 13 trains, 38 kilometers of track, and there's a few intersections. All good. Learning the stuff. So my other save, if you remember this, if you watch the previous playthrough, this is zoomed out so you can see the whole lot. It's absolutely insane. There's 226 trains in this in this playthrough. There's 114 kilometers of track, which seems like there probably should be more, but anyway, you can see just from looking at this, look at all these intersections, right? And not even to mention like there's a massive spiral here. Like that's a huge spiral, and there's like 9 cart trains coming up into this train thing here. What do we got down here? This train station that Fry built. We've got like circle intersections with all these stuff. Like I think it's gonna be alright. Look at all this. Imagine sorting out. But basically it's gonna be a nightmare. Not a nightmare, but it's gonna be a lot of work to sort all this train signaling out. The other thing is our nuclear setup. This whole entire Northern Ocean here is the nuclear setup. This whole thing. And it's got this train. It's reliant on trains. Like every single thing gets brought in by train. So you know, fun times. It's gonna be good, but I'm gonna wait till this gets brought out on early access, so all the bugs are quote unquote non-existent anymore, and they've finally like done their final. Yep, this is exactly how we're gonna have train signaling. Then. When that comes out to early access, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, remember the spirals all here. This spiral doesn't look like much here, but this is actually 4 train stations high. Is it 4? Yeah, it's big. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, that's that. So that's the plan. But it's good. I'm enjoying the game. And yeah, again, what I was talking about before with the OCD on the grid. So every single building in this map is built on the grid, like north, south, east, west, perfect. And also not only that, but this is before they had that world grid option. They're all like connected, like each brick is individually perfect. But anyway, I think I've gone through pretty much everything. I hope this video's not gone too long. And I think that'll about do it. So, lots still happening, but the next thing I'll be doing is some turbo fuel, but mainly I'm going to be packaging turbo fuel so that I can fly turbo fuel around the map with drones. So it's going to be pretty cool. All right, I'll leave it there, guys. Catch you later.